Hey everybody, I'm back again at Lowe's. I can't stay away from the 75% off. But yeah, we're back looking at the Arbovitae. These are a pretty good size Arbovitae. I think 6.2 gallon pots or something like that. They're pretty big. They're standing at about 5.5, 6 feet tall, roughly. You know, including the root ball there. But in ground planting, at least 5 feet tall. So a lot of these are pretty bad off. Like this, I'm not sure if anybody's going to buy this. I mean, as I'm just touching it, it's flaking off tremendously bad. But what you want to look for is something like this. This is definitely not green all the way. And if we turn this around, what you're going to see is just a little bit of the brown on the back side. Now you could try to trim some of this away. That's what I recommend doing. As you can see, this branch here has some green on top. You could probably get rid of some of the dead at the bottom, but not all of it necessarily needs to be gone. Here's the one with the green at the top. You just can trim that away, or just, you know, brush it off and just let that kind of grow back out a little bit. You know, it'll try to repair some of these areas here, because it still has some green to it, but the brown is definitely a lost cause. But it's not as bad as this plant, where you're just going to lose basically almost all of this. You're going to have just this to work with, and that to me is not worth it at all. So with these being 75% off the 53, what did my receipt say? They were $13.25 each. So I was picking out 3, and like I said, this one is something that looks similar to a lost cause, because you're just going to be left with this here after you trim some of this away. But this can grow back out. You just have to be patient. But once you cut off some of this dead stuff at the top, at the ends, it's going to be very narrow. Some of these aren't too bad. So the 3 best ones that I could find, you know, there's a couple more that are decent. Like this isn't bad. This is half good. And if you turn it around, it's actually green all the way at the top. So I really like that. It's just brown at the bottom. So that's a decent one there. But here are the 3 that I got. I'm going to make a small screen with these. So I'm basically only needing the front sides, or one side of it. You know, if this is bare here and I have to cut that back, that's fine. It'll fill out a little bit, but I don't need to show that. Here's another back side of that one, and the back side of the 3rd one there. So if I'm going back around to what I would call the front sides, these front sides look full here, top to bottom. So I really like that. And then this full one, let me turn that around. So when you're looking at it, you know, if I'm putting these 3 fairly close together, about this distance apart, that you could see that from this one, the 2nd one, and the 3rd one there, that they're all green on the front side all the way to the base there. And then, like I said, just the bottom on the back side up to the middle of the shrub just needs to be cut back a little bit. But basically, if I left all of that, some of this would fall off, but just a good fertilization will help that to flush through. I've had some that didn't look quite this bad, but you know, once I trimmed it back, it was kind of bare. And I did that about 4 years ago, and about 2-3 years later, it started completely filling up with green. So just make sure it's fertilized. But these aren't a lost cause, but some of them are pretty bad off. So just pick and choose, but they have several more to choose from. Don't think I'll get any more. I mean, some of these over here, just to recap, are just really, really bad. Something that I don't want to mess with too much unless they were super cheap. But for the price that I paid, I only need about 3. I could have got a 4th one, but I'm gonna stick with 3 just because of the things I bought previous. So I hope you enjoyed this content. I hope that helps you out if you're shopping at Lowe's and you're looking at buy something like this. You know, if you're definitely going to plant something in front of the bottom, which is what I did in the previous video, just explaining how to do that, that would just definitely take care of some of those ugly spots and not make it such an eyesore in your garden. But outside of that, it's a lot of work. If you can find a space in the back to plant it in the ground, or in some type of mulch just above ground, just to help it thrive for the next couple years, and then move it to the front, that would be ideal as well. So thank you everybody, peace and love.